Welcome into another episode of Three's a Crowd. I'm Preston Vargas along with Eli Atwood. And that was a fun night last night at the Storm game. Glad we got the win.
Yeah, great win, great time, good atmosphere. It was actually better than I was expecting.
Oh yeah, 11,000 fans in attendance. We'll get into that a little later on the show, but first don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Uh, our goal is to to get to 200 subscribers by the start of football season by September 9th. I think that's a good goal. So hit that like button and subscribe. Let's get into the episode before we get into the UFL coverage. We had a big shot in the NCAA tournament Elite Eight last night. Braylon Mullins sending the Huskies on to the Final Four with a game-winning three from near midcourt. Now we were at the game watching the warm-ups when we got the alert that that happened. What's your first reaction to that?
Yeah, I mean, that was a crazy miracle there for UConn. Duke really should have had that win, and what a way to do it. It's really putting the madness in March Madness.
Oh yeah, you said it. The madness in March Madness, and you mentioned how Duke should have won that game. They were up by 19 points in that game, and you blow a
Yeah.
lead like that. Let me see
Now,
the box score. Well, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you definitely got to do a better job getting the ball up the court than that. I mean, that was a pretty unacceptable situation.
So Mullins in that game had, let me pull it up here. He only had 10 points, but really led by Terrace Reed Jr., who's been one of the great players of this March Madness run for the Huskies. In the first game, let me get the box score right. So he had against Furman, he had a historic 31 points, 27 rebounds in the game they beat Furman in the first game, which he was the first player since the 60 or he's only the third player since the 60s to do that. Zach Edey did it in the tournament, I think a couple of years ago with Purdue, but he's been playing well, scoring 20 points in consecutive games, including the UCLA game. He had 10 points, 13 rebounds, and nearly had a double-double last night. I think he's definitely one of the best centers in the country.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely one of the better centers. Interesting stat here is that UConn was 1 for 18 from 3 point until hitting four of their final five attempts.
Really, that's definitely an interesting stat. In total, they were 5 for 23. Before that, game-winning three. What's that percentage at? Less than a quarter, I assume.
Yeah, not great.
Let me pull up the calculator here. So 21% from three, but he got it when it mattered the most. So,
Yeah,
and then for Duke, you got to feel bad for Cam Boozer, or not Cam Boozer, his twin brother, Caden Boozer, turning the ball over in that situation. I mean, just a tough situation for him.
yeah, for sure. It's definitely one of the last things you want to do there.
But let's talk about the Boozer twins. Do you think they'll both go in the NBA draft or just Cam?
I mean, it's always possible. Caden could see maybe the second round, but I don't think it'll be a first round pick. Cam.
Yeah, I agree. I think Cam Boozer's definitely a top five pick. That's for sure. He had 27 points last night in the loss, and we thought it was going to be enough. Let me see. Duke outscored UConn 44 to 29 in the first half, then UConn outscored them 44 to 28, erasing a 19-point deficit. But on the other side for Cam Boozer, he's definitely a top five pick. But Caden Boozer, I think he'll benefit from staying another year in college. He's got the talent, but I don't think he's NBA ready just yet. And it
Yeah,
just
it's not
time.
quite all there. And moving on to next week, the lead A is over. Final four.
Oh yeah.
Got Illinois, UConn, Michigan, and Arizona. Who do you think's going to come out on top of those games and head to the national championship?
For me, these two games should be pretty good. Illinois, obviously going on to the Final Four for the first time nearly 20 years. The UConn, a veteran in the Final Four the past, they've been three out of the last 4 years. So, and Illinois is actually favored in this one by 2.5, but
Hmm.
the first game I have to give the slight edge to Dan Hurley and UConn.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely experience here. I think will go a long way.
That team's been there before and has done it. So I'm sticking with UConn.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think I'd also take UConn in that one. It is interesting. Illinois' favorite. I'm kind of surprised about that.
Oh yeah.
And on the other side, I think I probably Michigan, Arizona. I think I'm going Arizona. Michigan's also favored, but you know what? I'm taking the upset. Arizona's been pretty dominant throughout the tournament, winning all four games by at least 12 points.
That's true. But you can't discount Michigan as well. They've also been very dominant in the tournament. I think, see, beat Howard by 21, and it was close toward the half. You beat St. Louis, pulled away late there, pulled away late against Alabama, and then just dominated Tennessee. I think this might be one of the more competitive matchups. I think it'll be the winner of this game will be the team that makes the fewest mistakes in the game. And
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, this game may be better than the national championship. This is going to be a good game, one versus
yeah,
one.
they're both
Two teams
Huskies,
with great regular season. I mean,
and both at ranked number one at different points of the season as well.
yeah, that's true.
But I think
And
it depends on which coach I trust the most. Do I trust Tommy Lloyd or do I trust Dusty May? And I'm gonna pick. I think I'm gonna pick Arizona because they've proven it in the Big 12 tournament. Michigan lost the final against Purdue, and I think that's the edge. I think that's the edge Arizona needs. I think Braden Burries, Koa Pete, all those guys, once they click, I think they're gonna get past Michigan.
yeah, we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah.
And moving on, Tiger Woods charged with another DUI,
Hmm.
rollover crash even, I think, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, what is that? How does that impact his career here at this point?
Well, I mean, he was saying he was gonna play in the Masters. I don't know if he's still planning on doing after this, but just comes days after losing in the final of the TGL championship down there in West Palm Beach. He lost to the LA Golf Club, I think it was. But he said in an interview after he wanted to play in the Masters, but yeah, I don't think he's gonna do it. And it's his fourth crash in the past 17 years, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not too sure, to be honest.
And he had that terrible car accident again in California back in 2021, where that nearly cost him his leg.
Yeah, apparently the reason he was asked like why he doesn't hire a personal driver, he
Mhm.
doesn't want people knowing about where he's going or something like that.
But still, what
I mean, what is he up to that's so secretive?
you have, I think his son Charlie, even though he might be busy, might. I understand if he might have other commitments, but uh, he's of driving age. But he should definitely hire a driver at this point. They should take away his license if he can't operate a motor vehicle while sober. There was no alcohol in his system. I think it was probably his pain meds because they
Yeah,
tested
this is
his site
medication, I think.
and they didn't. He refused to do a urinary test at the station, which is why he was charged with a DUI. So I assume it's the
Yeah.
pain meds. But
Yeah, I mean that's what the issue was last time, right?
I think so. But I think he might have been speeding on a hilly road and lost
Yeah.
control. But I don't think he was speeding in this situation. He just crashed into, or actually might have been speeding, but he crashed into like some kind of fertilizer tanker or something
Hmm.
on Jupiter Island.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
But just a bad situation for Tiger Woods all around. Hopefully, he can get the help that he needs.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Then moving on to the UFL, a game that we were at last night, the Columbus Aviators taking on the Orlando Storm. The Aviators are the Storm winning that game 23 to 16 at home in front of 11,000 fans in attendance. And we were sitting front row in the stadium, and I thought the atmosphere was great there.
Yeah, it was pretty great, especially in the supporter section, It's
Hmm.
pretty packed and everybody was having a good time. Storm defense, two forced fumbles.
Oh
That
yeah.
was pretty big highlight of the game for us. Jack Plummer did better than I was expecting, probably. I mean, he has moments that were not so great, but he had some decent moments too, like that one touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Definitely a good receiving core with Badger, Hamler, and others. So I think there's a good hope in Orlando.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. A Plummer, he had 240 yards, one touchdown. I was rewatching the game a little bit last night, and apparently he was the quarterback for Louisville when they upset Notre Dame a few years ago on a primetime game with the fans storming the field. So he's definitely been in big moments.
Yeah, he was an okay college quarterback, so hopefully that'll translate.
The Badger, like you said, 127 yards. The Rally got the touchdown reception there, and two touchdowns for Corbin on 66 yards.
Yeah, Corbin was solid. I wish they would have given him the ball a little bit more.
And see, how many sacks did we have total? Let me see.
Yeah, there were definitely a few sacks also.
Or I think three sacks total. So pretty good defensive effort. The other quarterback, let me get his name. McClendon, 212 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. I think what really set the tone for the game was that fumble recovery on the kickoff for Orlando
Yeah.
on the first play of the game.
Yeah, that was pretty huge. I mean, it's a big kickoff return and then being able to get that turn the other way.
Oh yeah, I think like you said, the future is bright in Orlando. We'll see what happens with them. Their next game, I think, is against the Louisville Kings on Saturday night from Interco Stadium.
We have two night games for Inter Co to start off the year.
Oh yeah,
Gotta like that. Moving on, Defenders versus Battlehawks also had another UFL matchup.
oh yeah.
What'd you take away from that game?
My main takeaways was looking at the Battlehawks. They have obviously one of the best fan bases in the UFL. Um, and this is also a big rivalry. These two teams met in the I think in the conference championship when they had conferences last year. They met in the conference championship game in St. Louis. DC upset them in their own building and then went on to win the championship in St. Louis's building against Michigan last year. So definitely a lot of animosity between these two teams. And when St. Louis was kneeling the ball out, there was definitely chippiness at the end. But main takeaways
Yeah,
here:
for sure.
Silver's 198 yards, passing one touchdown. The running game didn't get going until later, but I would say it was competitive on both sides. You obviously had the first 4 point field goal in UFL history by DC, which I think took the lead 4-3 early on in the first quarter. But that was about it for DC. Not really much after that. St. Louis just kept chipping away at the deficit and then got the win 16 to 10.
Yeah, they did get the win. And I mean, what are your thoughts in general about the UFL's entire performance here this week?
I thought it's a pretty good product. Obviously, not going to be the NFL type of product that a lot of people want, but I would say it's on par with major FBS football. I would say in terms of the product on the field. You obviously had a
Yeah, I
few
agree.
drops that you should have caught, but other than that, it was a pretty good product. You got good defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like the defense looked a little bit better than it has in recent years with these spring leagues. So I like that.
And the access that you get on the broadcast, unlike other NFL broadcasts, I like how you can hear the refs making the calls in their huddle and what the coaches are telling the refs as well.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of cool being, especially where we're at, right on the field level is cool. I don't know if every stadium's like that, but at least for Orlando.
Oh, and a lot of soccer stadiums, like I think DC, are right on the field. They have a standing only supporter section as well,
Oh
and
yeah.
I think Louisville has that as well. I'm not too familiar with their stadium situation, but I think playing in soccer stadiums is going to help the atmosphere out a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, being front row, you could actually hear the pads going up against, you can hear the hits going as you're,
Yeah, for sure.
especially when they were in our end.
Yeah, and even the crowd, we had some loud moments forcing a timeout one time.
Oh, yeah. Especially when Columbus was charging down in the red zone trying to score. That was a great defensive stop. I think that was in the second quarter.
I also like how the players can just run up like right in front of you, talk to them, and you
Oh, yeah.
know,
The a player, I think an offensive lineman, Gonzalez for Orlando, I shook hands with him before the game, wishing him good luck.
oh yeah, exactly.
There were some times where the fans were we were on offense, they were in the huddle, and we were in our end zone, and fans just yelling while they're
That
in.
was partially the announcer too. The announcer, I feel like for this game wasn't too great. They kept like talking during the offensive plays and also just like in general didn't really give much insight as to what was going on and the scoreboard was all over the place. That was probably the biggest complaint I'd say about the entire game.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. I mean, the I noticed toward the second half when they said first down Orlando Storm. In the second half they said that's another Orlando Storm first down.
Yeah. Well, not even that. It's just like sometimes it'd be like a play. And they don't tell you if it's first down, third down, fourth down. I mean, you can't tell where you're at. They just be like, oh, 4 yard gain. I'm like, well, I don't know where that is. Like,
Yeah.
it's the other side of the field. I need a little bit more information, I guess.
And the one bad part about sitting front row is that you have to, when they're on the other side of the field, you have to look at the jumbotron at the other end to
Yeah.
to see the play, really. But
Yeah, it's true.
other than that, the wall is a great atmosphere when you're watching a UFL game, that's for sure. And I think
Yeah, for sure.
the fan base can grow, and there's a great opportunity playing in a cavernous environment like that, and for others as well. And
Yeah,
then
I'd say so.
And then let's move on to our other headlines. So there's UConn and UCLA in the women's tournament. They move on to the Final Four, but two spots remaining, either Michigan or Texas or TCU USC. On those games are tonight. Who do you think is going to the Final Four?
I mean, we'll just have to see. 2 spots remain. I honestly don't even know what the other teams are thinking about it, so
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you. I think Duke is in it, or did Duke lose to UCLA?
no, lost to UCLA.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what the other two teams are, to be honest. I don't really follow the women's Final Four.
All I know is that it could be all chalk by the end of it. All one seeds in the women's Final Four, which is nothing new.
Yeah,
And
I
then
mean, wouldn't surprise me if UConn gets the win there.
I think they're favored by at least at the beginning of the tournament, they were favored by -2. Ford, I can't imagine what it is now, but I'll have to check that later.
Yeah.
And then there's been a lot of chatter about the new ABS system in Major League Baseball. Well, this umpire named CB Buckner, who's a home plate umpire, he had 6 overturned ABS calls in the Red Sox Reds game over the weekend. I can't remember if it was on Saturday or Sunday this was, but I just saw it. I saw it today. What's your reaction to that?
I mean, the MLB needs to have accountability for umpires making mistakes. I think this is a start to that.
Oh yeah.
And ultimately, I mean, it's just like any other job. If you're not good at your job, you shouldn't be working it. And maybe they need to fire a few umpires if they keep having issues like this.
I mean, Angel Hernandez retired before the ABS system was in place. Imagine if it was in while he was umpiring.
20 overturned calls.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. But I think the ABS system is definitely good for the game of baseball.
Gotcha.
And then Luka Doncic suspended for his 16th technical foul over the weekend. He'll be suspended, I think. Let me double check who the Lakers play real quick, but Luka getting 16 technical fouls, that's really nothing new.
Yeah, I remember he got one against the Magic.
That was later overturned so he could play against Detroit.
Yeah,
Oh, I see they're playing Washington at home. That's a game they should win without him.
yeah, we'll see.
And then in the NHL, head coach of the Vegas Golden Knights, Bruce Cassidy, was is fired before their playoff run. Let me see where they are in the standings right now. I know they're in the playoffs right now, but looking at the standings right now,
It's a
they are.
little weird. I mean, 2023 Cup winner and then
Hmm.
fire him over player relationships.
They're third right now in the Pacific Division, which is right in the playoff spot. They're still 4 points clear, but I think it was because of results going in. They lost their last three games. That's which is probably why they fired him. But in my opinion, they shouldn't have fired him. Two of them were overtime losses, so you still got
Yeah.
points from that. But it'll be interesting to see what happens there. The WNBA offseason news. The Connecticut Sun were sold for a record $300 million and are going to relocate to Houston for 2027. How big is this sale for the WNBA?
I mean, it's a pretty big deal. Obviously, Connecticut Sun have had their issues in recent years with their arena and all that. But at the same time, I'm not sure that the move to Houston is really a smart move either.
I think it's a good move. You're moving them to Houston, reviving an old name, the Houston Comets, that won four WNBA championships in the. I think they won the first championship, and then were good in the early 2000s, and then folded before the recession after the 2007 season. So it's good that Houston's getting a WNBA team back, reviving a historic name like the Comets, and I think this is a pretty good move, $300 million. And it's been time for the Connecticut Sun to move out of their arena because I think their arena is they play on an Indian reservation in Connecticut.
Yeah, I think so, like in a casino, right?
Yeah, the Mohegan Sun Arena, I think, is what it's called, which is it's nowhere near Hartford, north of New London, Connecticut, which is not a big city. See, the closest
Yeah.
I can zoom in here to Google Maps. Actually, maybe I'll have to look at it on my phone. So it's near the city of Norwich, Connecticut, which is not that big of a city. I think you're like 40 miles away from Hartford. It's well time for them to move out of there. If you want to be a big time league like the WNBA wants to be, you can't have a market play and you can't have a team play in that small of a market in an Indian casino that you're probably not drawing that as many fans where your main population center is 40 miles away.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think this will definitely be a good move in the long term. And then finally, the U.S. men's national team lose 5-2 to Belgium in a friendly. Is this a concern for the U.S. national team?
Yeah, I mean, definitely 5-2. Gotta be able to get some wins here and there before the World Cup. So,
I think,
playing one of the better teams, but still.
yeah, for sure, Belgium one of the top teams, but we play Portugal coming up, and I think they drew 0-0 to Mexico in a friendly. But the U.S. needs to get some results before the World Cup in less than 3 months away from now.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Then finally, we go to what we're watching for this week. I'll start off today. What I'm watching for while I'm doing the Pistons Thunder game tonight. I'll also be watching for the Michigan, Texas, and TCU US or TCU South Carolina, the Elite Eight tonight on the women's side for the final four spots there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm watching the Orlando Magic. We play the Suns as well as a couple other games this week, and we need these wins badly. And not only that, just to show some hope before the playoffs start. I mean, right now it looks like the Magic will be a play and exit.
Oh yeah, we need to definitely need a win after getting crushed by Toronto the other night, which is a terrible loss for us. But
Yeah,
the Phoenix game on Tuesday night, definitely a must-win game. And the Hawks, who are the sixth seed now after going on that long winning streak, we definitely need to win that one. Then you got a couple of eliminated teams like Dallas and New Orleans on the road. You should win those games, but you could see a slip up if you're not careful.
yeah.
Four important games this week for the Magic, that's for sure. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's episode. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. You should be seeing videos recommended on some of our other content that we've done. So we'll be back for another episode on Friday, and we'll also be streaming later on this week. Anyways, thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you again next time.